chapter 11. We're going to go over some key terms and people and some questions that you need to know for your chapter 11 history test. So let's get to studying. So first and foremost, there are a few important people that we need to know. First, and the most important, the main character of chapter 11, Julius Caesar. And as we remember back, Julius Caesar was one of the greatest leaders in history. And another thing that we need to know about Julius Caesar was that he was the only Roman leader who crossed the Rubicon. So that's very important that we need to know that. Second is his nephew, Augustus Caesar, also back before he changed his name to Augustus Caesar, Octavian. And this we need to know about him was that he was the first emperor of Rome, because remember, Augustus Caesar, when he took over the throne, it became an empire. It then became the Roman Empire. So he was the first emperor of Rome. Our third person that we need to know about is Hannibal. Hannibal was the general who led all those horses and elephants and crossed the Alps, and a lot of his troops and animals died because of it, and he lost the battle with Julius Caesar. But he is an important person that we do need to know. Our fourth person that we need to know is Daniel. Okay, we need to know that he was the person who prophesied a powerful kingdom. And when we talked about last week in the last PowerPoint, I asked you what prophet prophesied that an empire would be strong as iron, and that was Daniel. So those are four important people that you need to know for your test. So let's take a look at some vocabulary terms. So we need to know these, and there's going to be some more, so let's take a look at these first four. So the first one is Alps. And we should know by now that that's the largest mountain system in Europe. Second, a dictator. And a dictator is a man who has absolute rule. Okay? Next is the Pax Romana. Okay, that's when Rome was in peace for 200 years after Augustus. And then we have the Aqueduct, which is when they transported fresh water to Roman cities. Remember, the aqueduct is like that really cool double bridge that we talked about a few sections ago. Okay, we have some more vocabulary terms. Okay, we have the patricians, which are the very wealthy people, the people that went to school, the wealthy boys that got an education and became politicians. But then we have the plebeians, which were the poor people. The people that couldn't afford to go to school, that the men had to go to war, the boys had to stay and help with the farm. Okay, so those two types of people, the patricians and the plebeians, we need to know about. Next is we have the atrium. Remember, the atrium is that wide opening in the middle of really rich Roman homes. They had that big opening where the sun can shine in, and they had pools and worshiping altars. And it was really, really cool looking, but they were only in wealthy Roman homes. Next we have is the census. Okay, census is the counting of people in a province, town, city, whatever you want to call it. And we still have census today. I know we got some more, but it's okay. We're almost done. So another one we need to know is the Senate. Remember, the Senate are the group of the oldest, wisest people of men of Rome. No women, just the men. They would gather, and people, the rulers, the dictators, the emperors would go to them for advice. Next, we have consuls. And consuls was all the way back to like 11.1, 11.2. But these consuls were actually when two men ruled at the same time. They had equal power, but they only ruled for a year each, and that was it. Next, we have a toga, which we should all know what a toga is. It's that garment, it's that big dress that they wore, and it was a sign of Roman citizenship. Next, we have concrete. Remember, the Romans invented concrete when they were making their homes, and it made it last a lot longer. Okay, and last but not least, here are a few questions that we need to know for our test. Next, what is Gaul? Remember, Gaul is known as France. It's the modern France. Okay. Next, we have what language did the Romans speak? They spoke Latin. Okay, they spoke Latin. Next is what were the three wars that happened between the Romans and North Africa, which we know, if we look back at our PowerPoints or in the book, it was the 3 Punic Wars. So Punic Wars would be your answer for that. And last but not least, what cultural influenced the Romans? And we know the Greeks. Remember, the Romans kind of copied the Greeks on everything. But Romans were a little bit more conservative and more realistic, where the Greeks were very like prissy and made sculptures out of marble, and the Romans just wanted to live. Okay, well, that's all you need to know for your test. Easy peasy, right? So get to studying. Use that Quizlet link that I sent you to help you with your flashcards. Use this study guide for the PowerPoint. Listen to my lecture. Look at the questions. Answer them. Okay, and you can do well on your test. You can do it, and I believe in you. All right, good luck, guys.